Welcome everyone. I'm excited about today's workshop. Today I have Pamela, our digital marketing manager, going to be taking you all through Google Ads, giving you some insight into it, taking you through some strategies that are delivering amazing results for our clients. So to start off with, I will welcome you. We've got a number of you today that have come from you've either just starting out in Google Ads. There's some that have been with us for a very long period of time. So we're going to kind of take you through a range of material today. Now, I'm going to start with some basics around, the Google Ads, and then I'm going to hand you over to our ex, because Pamela is, as I said, amazing. We have a number of clients that have been with us for a long period of time. But we've also had some new clients as well, and they all love her dedication and commitment to their businesses, continually to improve the results that they achieve with their online advertising, and overall just generating the quality leads into their business. You'll hear from her today and understand why she's so good at what she does, because the detail that she'll take you through with that's involved in not only setting up, but delivering and continuously delivering results with Google Ads. So let's start with today's presentation, and I will bring it through so we can all join in. All right. So as I said, Pamela's the head of our digital marketing team. She's been in this business for a very long time. We were so grateful when she came on board with us. We'd been doing digital marketing, which I had a range of people in-house as well as offshore doing this. But it wasn't until we had Pamela and we built up the team here of our digital marketing team that we started generating some incredible results for clients. And I'm super proud of the stuff that we do and the results that we're getting. She's worked across UK, as well as here in Australia, and she's really refined her skills and her ability. So let's start with the basics. What is Google Ads? Look, Google Ads is basically begins with someone with a question or wanting to know more information about a business service, product, or a question that they may have. So they enter in a particular search term, keyword, or phrase in the search bar. Okay, in this case, plumber varsity lakes. Now, what appears at the top, now we're doing desktop here, but it's similar for mobile, but what appears at the top is the sponsored ads. So these are the Google ads that appear at the top. This is where you have the ability, if you've got a good team, to get your ads or your presence seen at the top of the Google result. Now below this, we have the Google Maps, or what is also called the local pack, which is driven from your Google business profile. Now here you can also have a paid ad in this result. And then underneath is what we call the organic listings. These are the free listings. This is how you appear in the search results on Google. Now, some people pay us also to do search engine optimization, and this is where we work with content and functionality and technical strategies to move a site the organic ranking. Takes a lot longer to get there, and but it's very solid in its results as well. So I'm going to hand you over to Pamela now and let her take you through her presentation today. And at the end, we'll have some questions and answers. And I think you'll enjoy all the content all the way through. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tracy, for that lovely introduction and for the very quick intro on what exactly Google Ads is. So as Tracy mentioned, I've had a look at who is online today on the webinar, and thank you very much for joining us, and I hope it is of some advantage to you and you learn something from it. It's beneficial. So yes, there's some varying from who's on the webinar today. Some of you are using Google already. who never used it or have used it in the past. So I'm hoping that what we're talking about will be beneficial to all of you. And for those who already know a lot of it, I'm sorry, you're going to have to hear this again, but it's just to cover all avenues for everybody, so everybody's conscious of exactly what I'm talking about. So I just really want very quickly some Google Ads stats and facts. So Google advertising started in 2000. I've only been working in Google Ads for the last 15 years, and it has changed dramatically since I started, and it changes every year. I mean, right now we're into a new interface that I'm having to now get used to in the ad accounts. So it's always evolving. We're going to talk about artificial intelligence as well further along, and the influence that has now on Google advertising. So I've put in a few facts here. The ones in red I thought were of interest. One of the big ones as well is that half of users are I've just put some in bright red here for you, some of the interesting facts around Google Ads and how it can work for anyone that's doing some advertising. A big one is that half of users don't realize that they're actually clicking on an ad, and that can work in your advantage as well. But 43% of users trust an online ad, and paid ads can be 5 times more effective on mobile over desktop. So you want to be ensuring that your website is mobile friendly and responsive to mobiles. Paid ads are also allowing businesses to increase their brand awareness by as much as 30%. So if you're looking to increase your brand, and you can see your competition is out there and that top search results, maybe organically through SEO or through paid, you have the opportunity to join them with Google advertising. Okay, so benefits of running Google Ads for those who haven't ventured into Google advertising before. We use precision targeting. There's lots of elements to this precision targeting, but what we do for this is we're providing signals to Google. And what we're looking for is for Google to provide you with quality and genuine traffic to your website. It's not all about quantity. We want to get quality traffic that are looking for your products and services, who could possibly convert and become a prospective customer of yours in the future. We can use hyper-local targeting. So if your business is not nationwide, if it's just a region or even some postcodes, we can hyper-target to those locations. As long as there is some audience reach there that is not too small, then this can work for you and ensure that ads are only targeted to those people that you can service. And we can also use intent. So local intent in terms of near me search queries are hyper advantageous for you, because they're individuals who don't know of you already, who are looking for dental practice near me, a vet practice near me, etc. So these are really high valuable queries for us to have your ads triggered for. And those are highly converting keywords as well. They may be slightly more expensive, but they're highly converting. We also have seamless integration with your Google Business Profile listing. So as you probably already know, having a Google Business Profile is imperative to have for a business so that you appear in Google Maps. But if you've got a physical premise that has footfall and you want footfall into your business, linking your Google Business Profile to your Google Ad account allows for your physical location to be added to your actual ad. So when you're looking at search results, if you see an actual person's address underneath there in a different color, I think it's red, that's because they've integrated their profile. So that's something to consider if you're looking for physical footfall. Okay. Ultimately, as I said earlier, it increases brand awareness, increasing leads to your business that you may be needing to increase. We get faster results than we do organic SEO. So search engine optimization, it takes a period of time to build. So you've got to do link building, you've got to look at your keywords. You need Google to be reviewing your website to help with your SEO. In terms of Google Ads, it's near enough immediate in terms of getting individuals to visit your website. Okay, so you'll increase your website traffic far quicker than you would doing it organically with SEO. What we do say in terms of, as I say, fast results, that's immediate traffic to your website. That might not be immediate, a huge number of leads coming through the door for you, say in week 1, because Google needs time. It has to go through a learning phase and bedding in, which I'll go into in more detail. But ultimately, if you're looking for quick results, we highly recommend Google advertising. Google Ads, it's a pay-per-click model. So you're only going to pay whenever someone clicks on your ad. So you may have an enormous budget, for example, which would be lovely to have, but you're only ever going to pay for when people click on your ads themselves. Okay, so we can monitor that and instruct Google to only spend a certain amount of money per day. Okay, so you have the ability to control campaign budget. So if you only want to spend $50 a day, for example, Google knows that it can only spend the maximum of $50. What we do find is that Google works out the actual monthly cost. So we'll say $20 a day budget, $600 a month. What Google may do, because of the way it has machine learning, it may identify that today is a really strong day of queries, and that you're ultimately coming to the end of your budget. You've spent your budget, but what it might do is say, right, okay, these queries that are coming through really could be converting clicks. So we're going to up the spend on today's budget. So instead of spending $20 a day, we're going to spend $30 a day, which means then on a quieter day, you only spend $10, but you ultimately never ever spend more than the budget that you have allocated. Okay, so if it's $600, you only get, you only are invoiced for $600. And it also offers scalability. So you may be starting out on a new campaign, you haven't done Google Ads before, you're coming back to it after a period of time. What you can do is you can start off, say on a smaller amount and work your way up and see what results you get and whether it's cost effective for you and the return on investment you're going to get. So naturally, the more budget you have, the more exposure your ads are going to receive if you are in a sector that's got a high search demand. So we always say try and a minimum spend of $20 a day to give you the exposure to really get started, because you don't want to be constrained too heavily by budget. When we report to our clients that we have here, Bloom Tools, we do advise them that, not all the times, because you don't want to hear it all the times, but we will advise if your budget is not meeting search demand and what you're missing out on.
Pamela, just a question. What's the average, daily spend that our clients are experiencing? Because $20 is minimum, but we've got a lot of clients that are spending a lot more than that.
Yeah. Oh, it totally varies depending on the sector they're in and where they're located. If they're in a densely populated area, then we need more budget to provide that exposure, especially if it's a competitive area that they're in. It's we highly recommend having a higher budget. It ranges, say, from $20 a day for a very small campaign, ranging up to $1,000 a day. So it really does vary, and it varies dependent on the client's needs and what ability they have marketing budget wise.
Okay.
So ability to control, measure success. So with Google Ads, we can measure everything. We can measure how many visits you get to your website, which particular web pages the individual visits, what they do on the page, how long they're on the page, and ultimately what you're looking for is what have they done in return of visiting your page. So ultimately you're looking for leads. So these could be phone clicks, they could be calls from ads themselves, they could be contact form submissions, quote form submissions. So any call to action that you have on your website can be tracked. So if you're not already getting that in your results, you should be looking at your Google Analytics, your Google Tag Manager, and getting those tracking added in so that Google Ads can be imported into your Google Ads account, and you can measure the success. And from these, you then in turn see what your cost per conversion is, and whether that relates to your return on investment of what that lead means to you. And for every client is different. So a cost per lead, it could be advantageous for somebody at say $500 a lead, or for another individual it could be $10, $20, whatever. It's at sector level. And you're competing with your competitors in search. So instead of just seeing your competitors getting the leads coming through, getting the website traffic, you are in a position to be up there with them. And ultimately running with Google Ads, especially if you're working with an agency and you're working with ourselves, we work in partnership. We really, really want to work in partnership with you. We want to know how well you're doing. We want to know if you've got any special offers happening that we can help promote for you, any changes in your business, etc. These all really help run a campaign successfully. Before we get started with an account, we want to know about your business. We need to know what your objective is. What are your goals? What are you wanting to achieve from having a Google Ads campaign running? So primarily what clients are looking for are that if they've got an e-commerce site, they're looking for actual sales, or they're looking for leads, be it a phone click, a contact form, etc. These are the two big key objectives that we would normally use. I don't recommend creating a campaign without a goals guidance, because the more signals you can provide Google with, the better it's going to optimize, because it knows what you're looking for. You'll see here local shop visits and promotions. So if you were again all about footfall, you're just wanting people into your premises, this works very successfully for pubs and restaurants. This works in tandem with your Google business profile. Okay, so you would have one of those. So when people are in Google Maps, a lot of people are searching now in Google Maps and they're looking for a bar near me, vet near me, etc. Then your ad would appear. Okay, and it would show them, and they could click on it, and they could either call you directly, or they could click on for directions how to get to you, and that would provide you with footfall. Okay, lots of different types of Google Ads that we can use that work with your goals and type of industry that you've got. So as I said earlier, we've got search, which is we're getting in front of high intent customers. So we are answering that search intent. Oh, carry on. Sorry. So we've got search, which are your text ads, and they are for individuals who are actually actively searching for your product or service. Okay, so the ads will the text ads. Then we've got Performance Max, which I'm going to go into a little bit more in a second. That's a relatively new campaign that we've got, so I will come on to that in a second. You've got display, and that's where you have ads, and you'll see those when you're searching through websites. A lot of websites, like news websites, etc., will have little ads that are showing. So they are ads that are on websites that work in conjunction with Google. They have a partnership with Google. Then you have your shopping ads. So they're your shopping ads where you're buying an actual product, and then you'll see the ads coming up and all the pricing and who's selling them, etc. Shopping ads are now kind of obsolete. They are still shopping ads, but they're run through Performance Max. Then you've got video ads where you've got ads that are showing on YouTube. You've got apps. If you've got an app you want to promote, you can have an app campaign. Smart, I don't recommend, but it is a very, it is like a set and forget campaign, which Google manages for you. You just tell it what you need, and it will set the campaign, but you don't get any learnings from it. You don't get much data from it, data from it. And it's probably for somebody that has got no idea about Google advertising, but wants to make a step into how it's going to run. So for those who are maybe starting out, it might be a stepping stone. campaign to run. And then we've got the most recent one called Demand Gen, which is like your Facebook Meta in terms of it's a very visual campaign. It's really kind of targeting towards the younger generation, and is your primarily on your YouTube, and it's using video and imagery. So there's lots of different campaigns you can try, and you can use more than one. So for example, I always recommend search if there is intent there, if you've got a product or service where people are searching for. But you've also got the Performance Max that works in conjunction. It is your visual ads that run alongside your search. So talking about Performance Max, so yes, it's a goal-based campaign. As I said, it's about 2 years old now. We've been testing it out with a lot of clients, and we're getting some really strong results. I ask for start off a minimum amount, and I recommend that you increase it as time goes by, because as you can see here, it's going across all of Google's inventory here. So your ads are going to a much broader audience. So your ads are going to be shown in YouTube. So i.e. you want to be seeing having a video. And if you don't actually have a video, we have a Google ad tool that will create videos for you by using the imagery that you have. So we can create video for you if you don't already have. You have display. So as I said earlier, display is ads shown across websites that work in partnership with Google. You've got your search ads, which are your normal text ads. You've got Discover, which is your Android, and you've got Gmail, and you've got Maps. Okay, so your ads are shown across a far wider audience, and you're targeting awareness as well as intent. And Performance Max is primarily using artificial intelligence. We provide Google with all the signals for telling them who we want to see these ads, and Google works all the magic. So we've seen a real good uplift in conversions. We're seeing the cost per clicks can be higher at the beginning, and they start coming down. It all again depends on the sector, locations you're targeting, but we're also seeing an increase in conversions at much lower cost per lead than we are in search. So if you're not already using it and it's a product or service that you think would be advantageous to promote using these channels, then I'd highly recommend you give just even on a trial basis for 3 months on Performance Max. So I really want to just quickly go into how Google Ads works, and I'm just going to I want to show you how the auction works, because I think it's important for everybody to know back end of Google Ads. And it's not just about you create an ad, you set some keywords, and then you expect your ads to show all the time. It's a question that's been asked forever is, I'm looking for my ad and I can't see it. Why is my ad not showing? There are lots of factors as to why your ad might not be showing. And a lot of them is to do with the bidding auction, to do with your quality of your the ads and the keywords that are being used, and a lot of it is your budget as well. If you've got a small budget, your ads are not going to be shown all the time. They're not going to get the exposure that you want them to have, and Google will be holding back. They'll only show your ads at certain times of the day. So I'll go into it in more detail here, but primarily this screen here, we've got the user searching, so they've got their search query. Google then starts the auction to see which competitors want to bid on that search term that individual is searching for, who's in that bidding auction. We all go in this bidding auction, and then Google then looks to see of how relevant our ads are to that individual's query and our quality scores, and that determines where we're positioned. So I'll just very quickly just showcase where we are. So here we are, a little man in his auction. Okay, so this screen here, this image here really just highlights how it all works. Okay, so ultimately the individual with the highest ad rank gets the top spot. Okay, oh sorry, it's not just down to budgets and the bidding. Okay, it's down to your ad comes from your quality score. Now, your quality score is calculated. There are many, many factors, but these are the key factors, is your user experience. So when that individual searches, what that individual's then going to see is an ad pop up. Does that ad answer that individual's search query? Then they're going to look at, when the individual clicks on that ad, when they get taken to the landing page, does that landing page provide them with a maximum user experience that is going to make them want to convert, or at least, if not make them convert, make answer their search query? Okay, Google is all about user experience, and it's the same with SEO. You do SEO to increase your user experience, which in turn increases your ad rank. So we got your user experience, which is your landing page, your relevance to your keywords. So that's all from the Google Ad Account side. So the keywords we're using, are they relevant to the ad copy, and likewise to the landing page, and the expected click-through rate. So that's looking at the keywords that we're bidding on, looking at historical data. Is it expected to click through, and would it convert if it did, if they did click through? So these are the quality scores. So if you're looking in your Google Ad Account, you can look at your keywords, and there is a column that you can look up, and you can have a look at your quality score and see. So it's out of 10. So if you've got 1 out of 10 quality score, Google's looking at you and going, well, actually, when I look at your website or even your ad copy, there's no relevance to it. So why would I show your ad? Because you're not going to provide that individual with the user experience that they are looking for. Okay, so quality score is imperative, and this quality score, together with your budgets, so your budgets are looked at, but it's not the prime factor, and provide you with your ad rank then. Okay.
So Pamela, are you saying that Google can measure not only whether someone clicks on the ad, so that's obviously the user experience, but how long that they've spent on the page, and whether they click from anywhere within the page as well? Do they?
I don't think they go to that stage of the where they go after that. They definitely, what they've got all the metrics there. It is, I mean, because we can see it, so Google can see it as well. But primarily, the ultimate reasoning is from the beginning is, does this website, this client, answer that individual's query in a good way? And it's looking at all the competition as well. Okay. So we're all in this together. So whoever your competitors are, and if they're in the Google Ads bidding auction as well, Google is looking at their website as well as looking at their Google Ad Account strategy, setup, etc., and to determine who shows and who doesn't show. Budget is also there because you're not going to get the exposure if you haven't got the budget, if you know what I mean. So it is a factor, but primarily you should be looking at your quality scores as well as your budgets, but more so your quality scores. Okay. So yes, just a quick importance of quality scores again. It just determines whether your ads are shown in search results and how often they're shown. The main factor used to determine your ad rank, which in turn means your positioning in the Google Ads. So you may see in search results, you have your top 3 ads, and then if you keep scrolling down, then you see more ads, and then if you keep scrolling, you'll see more. So that's your ad rank positioning. So you want to be in the top 3, if not number 1, ultimately. I don't guarantee number 1. You know, a lot of people, I'll get you to number 1. I won't guarantee that to clients. It's what I aim for. It's what I want. But there are so many factors that are taken into account. But that's what we work towards, is getting you up there and always having you in the top 3 ad rank. It determines your cost per click. So ads with a higher quality score pay a lower cost per click. So it's advantageous for all of us to make sure that, you know, we're ticking all the boxes to get our quality score higher. Ads have to have a high quality score for ad extensions. So your ads, so if you see ads that have got then underneath it site links, so more information about your website, then or call links where it's showing you just key facts about your website. So you offer free postage, you do free delivery or whatever. These are all, you will receive ad extensions because Google decides if they want to show an ad extension or not. And it's all down to quality scores as well. Okay. Landing page experience, I'll just very quickly just go on to this. As I said, it's hyper important when individuals land on your website that they get a really good experience. So they understand as soon as they land on your page that what you are offering is what they want. What's unique, your key factors, strong call to actions, clear navigation. Google always looks at your website, see, right, okay, if they then want to go and find out about reviews, whatever, it's easy for them to see. If they want to see pricing, it's easy for them to see. So all this is really taken into account to build on your trust and credibility. Okay, so it's hyper important to have this in place. And this is just really to show you what I was just talking about in terms of, this is what I show in reports to our clients. And it's just where you are in the competition, where you're positioned. So this client, for example, they've got a strong impression share. The top of page rate, they're sitting at 81% in the top 3 ads, which is great, but you'll see other competitors are around there as well. So they're all kind of sharing this top of page rate. But in terms of absolute top of page, which is your #1 ad position, this client is outperforming the others at 38%. So this is the metrics that you want to see. You want to be seeing that you are up there with your competition. You've got to look at your audience. There's no point in running a Google Ads account if you're not going to target the right audience. So you want to be looking at your location targeting. As I said earlier, we can target down to postcodes. We can exclude areas as well. So if there's areas that you're finding that you're getting some leads in, we can exclude those as well. That will lower your audience reach, but it should make it a more quality-driven location to target. Keywords, hyper important. This is what is going to trigger your ads. This is what goes into your bidding auction. So as well as having keywords, we also need to have negative keywords in place as well, so that your ads aren't triggered and waste cost. Okay, so keywords, you need to be doing keyword research. It's always good to be looking through keywords. Run off your download your keywords, have a look at them, download your search terms, have a look at what people are searching for, and see if there's any that are converting that you may not actually have in your keyword selection, or again, those that are negative. So you might find a location that somebody's put in that's come through that you certainly do not want to have ads triggered for. You add that to your negatives. You've also now got through Google a negative keyword list that is at an account level. So if you've got lots of campaigns running, but there's a negative keyword that applies to all of them, you now have that ability to add it to a negative keyword list, and it will then add it to all campaigns instead of, we used to have to do it for individuals. So now that's another great addition to Google's given us. Ad scheduling, consider when you want your ads to appear. If you don't want weekend traffic, don't have your ads running then. Google automatically defaults to ads shown at all times, 24/7. If you've got limited budgets, you don't want to be doing that. You want to have your budget shown at the right time of when your audience are going to be best converting. Again, you look at the reports, look at the data that's coming through from your account to determine the best times of days of the week or hours that people are converting. Audiences, you need to be having audiences in your accounts. So you want to be looking at demographics. Is it a young market? Is it an older market? Is it a male-driven market, for example? Don't exclude them, but just bid. Just strategy bid on your demographics if you can. Again, affinity, habits, and interests. What is the demographic of people that would use your product or service? Find out, and then you can add. You go through the audience. There are so many different affinities that you can use. So it could be likes to go for coffee, dog lover. There's hundreds that you can run through. Then you've got your in-market segment as well. People who are actually searching for your products. It doesn't go into great detail. So, for example, your blind and shutter business, it doesn't say people that are in the market for blind and shutters, but it will say they're looking for home furnishings, or they're renovating, or they've just recently moved house. These are all areas that you could be targeting and giving signals to Google that these are the audiences that you want your ads to be shown in front of. So I click happy here. Retargeting. Again, you've got somebody to look at your ads. They may not be in a position to actually convert at that time. We have the opportunity to retarget, and we can retarget through Performance Max as well. Performance Max, again, competitor sites. We have the opportunity to say to Google, when creating Performance Max campaigns, these are competitor sites. We provide them with the URLs, and we say to them, this is the type of audience we're looking for. They're already looking at your competitor websites, so we want our ads shown in front of these people as well. Steps to create a successful Google Ads strategy plan. I'm not going to go into detail here, but again, it's like, think about your budget, how much you can spend, look at keyword research, look at what your average cost per click is, and look at the search volume, and determine how much you can spend in a day. Okay, that will then give you an idea of your budget. You choose your advertising medium, which we've just gone through, finding your right keywords, again through keyword research. Look at your competition as well. Play around in search results and see what keywords come up that you think would work for you. Create ad groups. So it's not just a campaign and just one ad group. You can create numerous ad groups that can be on, for example, individual products that you really want to focus on. Ad copy. Now the ad copy is all responsive search ads. So we have to provide Google with, say, 14 headlines, 5 descriptions, and Google then uses AI to determine which headlines and descriptions to use that meet that individual search query. Okay, so make it compelling. Try and even use AI, use ChatGPT or whatever to help you if you get stuck on creating headlines or descriptions. And then your bidding model. What bidding model you're going to use? If it's an e-commerce site, for example, you'd be looking for target return on ad spend. If you are mainly a search campaign, then you'd be looking at, you can either start with a maximize clicks to start getting the traffic through, so people start learning about your audience, running through to maximize conversions, where you're telling Google, I want to maximize on actual leads. We're telling the leads by the way we track our conversions, which I'll talk to you about in a second. So all of this helps, this strategy all helps towards providing you with a successful campaign. And this is just an example of an ad account itself that's in play right now. This client's got a Performance Max campaign running, and then they've got individual campaigns for their actual different locations that they target, that they want to keep separate from each one. Okay. Case study, a very recent one that we only started at the beginning of April, was a vet practice that approached us. They have recently employed more vets into their practice, so in turn they needed to increase patient numbers. So what we did was we created an ad campaign with our primary focus on generating new pet registrations, and with keywords targeting around vets near me, local vets, Adelaide vets, or vets in the actual area. So they weren't people that knew about the actual practice. We also ensured that the practice name was added as a negative to ensure we didn't waste costs on organic traffic itself, because we don't want to, unless that client has a competitor that is using their practice name or any brand's name, or they have the budget that they're happy for their brand name to be used, we would add it as a negative. If they've got a small budget, then we would make that as, we would exclude that, so ads aren't triggered. So we know that the traffic that we're getting coming through are from people that do not know of the practice name. So since we started in April, we've recorded 122 phone clicks, 12 contact forms, and 54 appointment bookings, and with a really good conversion rate and a low cost per click. Okay.
And that campaign's only just started. So what do you anticipate for May? Is it going to be the same sort of figures?
I think it should be around about the same, because what we've been doing as well is, I think originally at the beginning, the phone clicks were a bit higher because people were using variants of the practice name.
Right.
So I've now pulled them out. I've made them all negative. So misspellings, for example, etc., that we didn't accommodate for in our negatives. So I think the phone clicks will maybe lower down. What we really want to be seeing is appointment bookings, because that's where we're seeing the new clients coming through. Okay, but I had a meeting with the client a couple of weeks ago, and they were really happy that they just had so many inquiries about their practice and the services that they offered. So they're really, really happy. So I love seeing that. So I'll just continue doing that. So monthly housekeeping. So we create the account, we set it off, and off it goes. We are, as Tracy said at the very beginning, we're not a set and forget agencies. Accounts need to constantly be monitored and optimized to maximize their performance. What you'll find, if you've been into a Google Ad account at all, you will see you have an optimization score. For those people that are aware of this, what you want to be is as close to 100% as possible. And also, if you click on that optimization score, you'll then be shown another score. So if you don't know about clicking on it, you won't see that there is an account optimization score as well. That needs to be at least 70%, if not higher. And that is another factor that Google uses to show your ads. Okay, so if you are aware of that optimization score, click on it, and you will then be shown the second score. You also need your ad copy strength to be at an excellent level. If you can't be at excellent, at least try and be at good level. What we find with those that don't meet the excellent level is it could be Google just being really pernickety about imagery, for example. It wants an image in a portrait size instead of a I'm running out of time here. Have a look at your ad copy strength, review your keyword performance, have a look every month. You need to be looking at your search terms and pull out those that are negatives, that are wasting clicks, and just ensure that you're in line with your business goals that you're wanting. Review your bidding strategies. Are they working for you? Could you be doing better? Google will give you, it will hold your hand here and give you advice. You don't have to take it. It is purely advice. What Google says is not always right for your individual campaign and budget. You've got to look at it for you and what works best for you. Google will always say to you, oh, increase your budgets, increase your budget. You don't have to do that. Refine your audience targeting. Take a look at what's working. If you're finding there certain audiences are converting, bid higher on those. You've got the opportunity to have a bid strategy against those audiences that work for you, and look at new opportunities. There's always things happening. Like I mentioned, Demand Gen's just started. Performance Max is constantly evolving. So there's always areas for improvement, and that's what we do here at Bloom Tools. Is we're always looking at opportunities where we can enhance performance of each campaign, and we always provide a report on a monthly basis. We provide a summary of all the results, the keywords, and what's working. We always provide commentary as well for you, so you can see what we're saying to you in terms of how successful it's been running and what we recommend in the future, if there's anything we could do on the website itself, etc. So it's always worthy having a read of your reports. Is Google Ads right for everyone? I'd love to say it was, but it's not for absolutely everybody. I always say check your competition on search terms and in search results and see what your competitors are doing. Is your product or service, is it quite niche? If it's quite niche and people are not actively searching for this, then you may find that a search campaign is not the right thing for you. If it is something that you think that people would actually need in their life but are not aware of it at this present moment in time, then you may think, right, well, I'll do a Performance Max campaign. I'll use imagery and video and push it in front of those people that I want to target, and test or do it on a test basis and see how well that works. And then also, do some keyword research to identify the competition and the cost per click forecast. I've just quickly put in here a quick slide that shows you some sectors are more expensive than others. So for example, financial services and your tradespeople. This one was for a plumber in Sydney with a cost per click round about the $60-70 mark per click. So these need to be taken into consideration when you're doing your budget. Lastly, was just to highlight that artificial intelligence, AI is really, really big, as we all know, and Tracy's spoken about this before. There's a heavy emphasis on it now in the advertising. So our responsive search ads, AI is being used to match headlines and descriptions to user search queries. Performance Max is heavily using AI to analyze the page content that we're using and the assets that we're using, the audience signals, conversion values, so we can tell Google that a phone call is worth more than a contact form, for example, or a quote form is worth more than a contact. So we have all that abilities to give more signals to Google so that Google goes and gets the quality leads that you're looking for. And then finally, just measuring success. As I said earlier, we have the ability to track all your call to actions on your website so that you can see how successful your Google Ads is at the end.
All right. Well, there's so much goes on with these campaigns, Pamela.
Yes.
Like, I'm always blown away every time we talk about it, and it's constantly changing. Like, we've got clients, I mean, you've had clients for 15 plus years, but we've got clients here that have been with us the 9 years you've been here, and you're still constantly tweaking and changing and everything, because everything's changing and stuff like that. So look, trust me guys, like the hours that you pay each month, that service fee, Pamela and the team, and it's not just Pamela.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not just me. There is a team that really help, and I've helped bring them all along.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm confident with them, and they love their job, and it works really well. The team really well.
Perfect. So I mean, like you said, it doesn't work for all, but what's some of the clients industries that we work with that to give a kind of show the breadth of the client base?
So I always go blank when people say, I go, so we've got vets, we've got numerous vets, we've got dentists, we've got blind and shutter businesses, we've got what have we got? We've got so many. We've got
childcare. That's one.
Childcare. We've
consultants.
got consultants. If you brought up my Google Answer, I could run them all off.
Okay, so in other words, there's a range. So it's not just a physical shop, it's a service, it's and you could be local business or you can be nationwide. So we work with a number of franchisors as well as one small businesses and stuff like that. And now one of the questions that one of the attendees, like you've answered a lot of the questions that the people had phrase, but one was your competitors. Should you be putting your competitor's name in the campaign, or is it that Performance Max thing? What do you do if you want to appear for your competitor when someone's searching for it?
So you can use it for Performance Max. So as I said, you can add in their URL and say to Google, any clients that are visiting these websites, I'd like my ads to appear as well, which is always a great one. But it's an individual choice having competitor names because of the quality results you're going to get. So some people